Good afternoon, professors and all the contestants. I'm very honored and more humble to be standing here to present my lesson plan to all the prestigious professors and my friends. So there must be some butterflies in my stomach, but I try to let them take a nap during the 10 minutes. As a college English teacher, I believe any lesson plan should stick to the objective of college English, and that is to develop students' ability to use English in an all-round way, especially in listening and speaking. So in their future work and social interactions, they'll be able to communicate effectively. The target learners of my lesson are non-English major sophomore. The time will last 40 minutes. The objectives of the lesson go as follows. For listening skills, students should be able to understand orchestrating strategy use, from prediction through reflection, and improve their comprehension of authentic oral texts. For speaking skills, students should be able to communicate in English in the whole process of learning and conduct discussion on a given topic. And the procedure of the lesson consists of 3 parts. Pre-listening task, 5 minutes. Listening task, 15 minutes. And speaking task, 20 minutes. Step 1, pre-listening task. I'm going to lead in by asking the following questions to activate the students' prior knowledge about digital world, to make them make appropriate prediction. For instance, question number 1, do you hook up to the web every day? Number 2, which website do you often visit? Google, Facebook, or Amazon? Number 3, what impacts does the digital revolution have on our daily lives? And then, with all these information, and then I'd like to move on to the second step, listening task. I'm going to play the listening task the video clip 3 times in total. The first time, let them listen for main idea. And the second time, I'm going to pause to let them listen for details. And then, during the listening, and then the third time, I'm going to let them listen again for reflection. So, in this way, students will have a better understanding of both main ideas and the details. And then, step 3, speaking task. We're going to have 2. Speaking task A, pair work. I'm going to let students get into pairs to reflect what they have watched before and retell to their partners. Then I'm going to walk around the classroom to supervise their work. And 5 minutes later, I'm going to invite 2 students to present their retelling in front of the class. And I'll give feedback right after it. Does that contain main idea and specific information? And then speaking task B, group discussion. I'm going to assemble students into small groups of 4 to 5 and appoint a group leader to chair the discussion. And then before discussion, I'm going to give students some patterns and expressions for them to use in their practice. For instance, digital revolution, hook up to the globe, web addict, be plugged into, mankind communication, and remaking our world, having an impact on our daily lives, and creating unimaginable wealth, create a generation of web addicts, open up a new realm of knowledge. So with these vocabulary and expressions, then the students, they are able to conduct the following discussion. During the discussion, I'm going to walk around the classroom again and to throw in challenging questions to draw them out. For instance, what brought the journalist to Africa? Is that the past or the future? And then, if during the final examination your computer doesn't work, how do you feel about it? So, and the last one, maybe, is the digital world a blessing or a curse to you? Do you think that computer is the smartest brain in the world? And let the student to think more and think deeper. So the above are the objectives and procedure of my lesson plan. Now I'd like to mention some empirical support for it. Number 1, listening strategy instruction. Teacher, like I would tell the student that listening comprehension is not either top-down or bottom-up processing, but orchestrating strategy use, from prediction through reflection. When the student can make appropriate prediction, monitor their comprehension, and reflect on the approach, It paves the way to a successful self-regulated learning, quoted by Van Griff, 2003. So the students, they would be able to conduct effective listening activities after class. Number 2, group leader. Having a group leader to chair the discussion will ensure that everyone has a chance to voice their idea in a respectable environment, and the group will focus on the task at hand. Number 3, peer comment. During the group discussion, and then after the group presentation, I will give the student to give the peer comment. Peer comment means, how's their presentation? Is it good? Okay, what's the positive and negative side? How can we polish it? So, after the presentation of the group, the whole group, the rest of the group, they will be more active and they will be more attentive, more involved in the classroom activities instead of just sitting there and looking at the other ones just performing. So this is number 3. And number 4, and the last one, teacher's feedback. Any compliments from teacher will help students and encourage students to speak more in their future practice. But at the same time, teachers also should give any feedback on any common errors heard in their monitoring. So teachers' feedback should really be the highlight of the speaking task. And in a listening and speaking class, I believe teachers' learning strategy instruction really help the student to build up a solid foundation of language skills. I believe this is a fundamental level of education. A higher level of education for college English education, I believe that is to develop students' critical thinking, make them be more creative. For instance, during the group discussion, I asked the student to think about more questions, not just of course, based on the digital world. And then I'm going to ask them more questions like, do you agree with one of the person, he says, computer is the smartest brain in the world? Do you agree with him? Do you think so? And then just to guide them to broaden their vision and build up more moral value system to tell them that all these high technology, they should be our potential tools instead of we Chinese people or we human beings become the slave of these high tech. So what I'm not saying that teachers themselves are the most creative or innovative person in the world, but they should know how to create an environment where innovation flourishes in the classroom. So as a college English teacher, I believe as the college English teacher students, they have a good command of basic skills like these with these patterns and expressions. They can express them in the following discussion on the topic of digital world. Then, if they are more creative in thinking, I'm sure we are surely heading toward a better world driven by our need to make peace with nature and facilitated by new technologies. A better world for generations to come. Thank you.
Thank you for your presentation. I have two questions.
Thank you very much.
One is about the content, the other is about the classroom management.
Okay.
Now, the first one. Why does the journalist say that the small town of Abilio, Ghana, is the new frontier of this virtual revolution?
Because in this video clip it mentioned, at the very beginning he mentioned, we are coming to Africa, that is the birthplace of mankind. But actually, what drives me to go to visit there, it's not its past, but its future. So that's why they are coming. And 20 years ago, then that started the digital revolution in that small town. That's why 20 years later, they come back to visit there and to see how it's changed. And
have you noticed that she said this small town has been hooked up to the group?
Yes, she mentioned the small town, 25%. And then he also provided the question, what about the rest of the 80%?
Okay. Now you mentioned that you have designed some warming up or pre-listening questions.
Yes.
What do you think is the use of pre-listening questions? Or, to put it another way, do you think pre-listening questions useful in teaching listening comprehension, and in what way?
Thank you very much for the question. I conducted the leading activities, that is prediction questions. So before we listen to the conversation or we watch the video clip, I think all these questions, leading questions, would help the students to activate their prior knowledge about the digital world. So when their schema has been activated, then when they listen to it, there are more, their cognitive process that will be activated much better than before. So that's the purpose, my purpose of designing these leading questions.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.